August, are we sending them back to school or are we sending them to work? Because if the dependent age is now 7, you trying to say they dependent. If I'm not mistaken, back in the day, they used to work at that age, right? So is he trying to tell us that they need to go back to work? Because I don't think Trump know that these kids ain't regular kids. These kids will flip out if they ain't got they tablets. Now, is we putting them in IT? Is we teaching them kids how to code? They might like that. They might like that. We're going to have to figure out them some jobs because they ain't gonna do regular jobs. They barely listen to them teachers. Like these employers is about to catch hell. They gonna be babysitters. And don't put me at the same company as my kids. I don't want to work with them. I already got to be with them at home. Like y'all done already took them out of school, so now y'all want them to work, and then don't put them as the same company as me. Like this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. Like it, and how much is you paying these kids? Because if you gonna, my 7-year-old need to be he needs to get paid well. He can't work for pennies, so that ain't gonna work either. Then you can't even disrespect that people kids. Cause now they gotta leave their job to go to this job. They gonna probably, oh my lord, Trump ain't thinking this out. He ain't thinking this out clearly. And then the big families is definitely gonna get the most, like to hit the most. Like all like them single parents, they got like 8, 9, 10 kids. They gonna feel it the most.
Zach, stupid. Yeah, I picked this video because this is the nonsense that's being spread. People take these bills and just make what they want of it. So I'm sure Enzo, you got some insight on this bill, right?
Oh yeah. So I've looked into what's being cut from Medicaid, what's being cut from SNAP. It's not anything that's really going to affect anybody. All they really did, the major thing was they upped the work requirement. So you have to work a minimum of 80 hours a month to get Medicaid and to get SNAP. And you have people crying over here that, oh, they upped the work requirements. I'm not going to be able to get this anymore. All these people that are crying are able-bodied people at the end of the day. You should be working regardless. Like I'm sorry, like I don't feel bad for anybody that's crying about quote unquote losing your benefits because you're too scared to work. Where when I grew up in a single family household where my mom couldn't get benefits and she was working her ass off just to get by, and we couldn't get these benefits growing up. So I mean, I'm happy with the direction they're going because this is going to give benefits to the people who actually need it at the end of the day, not the people that are just completely taking care of the system. When they said we're going to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse, this is exactly what they meant. There are people that are using the system, or fraudulent waste. So this is a great step forward. I think people just need to really just like open their eyes and actually look into the bill itself. Like I know it's a very long bill, but it explains it very, very easily. Like literally just take the text, put it into fucking chat TPT and be like, simplify this for me. And people will understand.
Yeah. Uh Ratchet Christian.
Um, I agree with Enzo in that I do think it's a good thing. And I can just see how the media, they just grab the headline of Trump is making cuts to SNAP and Medicaid, and most people are not going to do the due diligence to research it further. They're just going to again open up their phone, go on TikTok, and make a rant about it without fully understanding. If the average person has to work 180 hours a month, it's not that much to work 80 hours a month. Like if you're working 80 hours every 2 weeks, like it's not going to kill you. And it's like I'm a big believer, it's like you give a man a fish, then you have to keep feeding him. If you teach a man how to fish, then he can eat for the rest of his life. And I even have like a perspective on it because it's like I work in social services, I work with this type of stuff and getting people connected to like benefits and all that. And I do feel like it's predatory in a way where it's like the system almost feeds on people who don't or can't take care of themselves. You can have one person that's attached to 4 5 6 different agencies, getting all of these benefits. And it's like, at what point is this person going to learn how to take care of themselves if they don't have to, if they're not being required to, if they're not being shown how to do it themselves? I feel like it's a handicap, and this is an opportunity for people to kind of get up on their own 2 feet and take care of themselves, which is good in the long run.
Gray.
First, I want to shout out Zach is my boy Doc, one of my best friends. He's actually was a medic in the military. We was in Iraq together. He been supporting us and stuff, so I wanted to shout him out. As far as like my feelings on the bill and specifically about the money, I want to talk about a study. They did a study, and it was basically to kind of understand conservative politics. They took a group of students and they said, "Hey, we're gonna have you guys take a test, and on this test, if all of you guys agree unanimously, we'll give everybody 100." And never did people agree unanimously for everybody to get 100 because there are people in the class that said, "Oh no, I don't want someone to get a better grade or a good grade because I could have got a better grade." So they don't want people to gain stuff because they don't feel like they deserve it. So I feel like that's the conservative mind frame that is just like, even if you could unanimously say, oh, okay, everybody can just eat, you know, that you're not going to go with that because you feel like some merit a person needs to gain that ability to get government assistance. Now, do I feel like some people abuse it? Of course. Do I feel like maybe some illegal immigrants did it, applied? Sure. But I also think it's probably people that have like mental health diseases, can't work, or whatever other reason that they can't get employment and they need government assistance.
Yeah, he's not cutting that though. For if you're disabled, you can get it. It's only for the people out here who aren't working or got a million kids and trying to live on the system. I actually looked it up what the bill says because they talking about the 7 years old. They try to change it into saying that at 7 the child stops being a dependent, and that's not what it said. It basically said, I'm gonna read it off. Under the newly passed law, parents or guardians receiving SNAP benefits are now required to work at least 80 hours per month if their youngest child is 7 years or older. Previously, this work requirement applied only to those with dependents or with older children. Notably, in married households, only one parent needs to work to meet this requirement, whereas single parents must fulfill it individually. And I like that too. I like that a lot of this stuff is encouraging marriage in two-parent households. And that was one of my biggest reasons for voting for Trump, because I knew a lot of the stuff that he was going to put in place, it would promote people coming back together. A lot of the stuff on the liberal side is geared towards single mothers, feeling sorry for them and trying to help them cover their mistakes. I don't agree with that. Let me see. And I have another video. Did y'all hear about the woman? I guess she was getting like thousands in food stamps. And I think she released a video telling people how to get it. And they basically came after her, and now she's facing jail time and got to pay.
No, I didn't hear about it.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. All right, let me play it.
Day 4. Day 4 of no food stamps. Day 4 of not being able to afford groceries for me and my 6 children. Because somebody decided to report my TikTok income to the state of Michigan. So they took my food stamps. Not only did they take my food stamps, my cash assistance, my disability checks are on hold. They're not going to pay my rent next month. They're not sending me a check for my utilities that I get every month. How the hell am I supposed to survive? All of my welfare benefits cut. So I go from over $10,000 a month in benefits that I've gotten for the last 13 years to zero. Zip. Zero. Not only that, they are expecting me to pay it all back since I've been making money on this app because of you guys, because the trolls. So now, since you guys are the ones that got everything taken away, I have over 230,000 followers. Okay, I need everybody to get together as a team and support me and my 6 children like you should be. like a taxpayer is supposed to do. This is your fault.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Listen, I have to say this as the one member of the white delegation here. We do not claim her. She is
Speak
not a
on
part of
behalf
our
of your
clan.
people.
We don't want her. That is an alien from Area 51 that escaped. That is not a real person.
No, I had to do that. Hey, Black Fatigue, you know, we can't be the only people out here. I'm gonna have to put y'all on blast too. Y'all do a
Let's
good
go.
job hiding it.
Yeah, I'm not part of them. No, we don't claim them.
Which we
That
should
Something
be doing
else.
over here. That's
What
what
she
we
should
should
be
be doing
doing is
over here.
fixing her teeth. I don't think she had like any teeth up top. All you saw was the bottom. You
Got to put
complaining
that
like
mess
what?
down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, calm down, Bethany. Her and her 6 kids.
But nah, that's a real thing, man. Man, I know so many people, and I don't know if y'all ever go. I don't know if this happened in y'all hoods, but I can go to the store in the hood sometime, and they be like, "Hey, man, you trying to get some food stamps?" Literally, like I'm telling you, it happens to me all the time. They literally trying to sell their food stamps for cash.
Mhm.
Like the system is out of control, and I'll be like, I'm good, and they're like, yo, I got a bunch of them, man. Like, you give me 100, I give you $300 in food, and I'm like, you're not going to buy food. They're like, I got enough already. Yeah, because they're getting a lot of this stuff,
Mhm.
and even the time I tried years ago, I could not get it.
The
Huh.
entitlement is
Say,
crazy. It's crazy.
what'd you say, Ratchet?
I said the entitlement is crazy. You know, this is your responsibility. You guys have to fix this. It's like, but what about the man that put 6 babies in you? Where is he at? That's his responsibility. You know what I mean? Like, and then my whole thing is like, it's not enough to just get away with the crime, but to just have the audacity to get online and explain and brag about it, and then also try to teach people a course about how to do the same crime. It's like, had you just minded your own business and not mention anything, you would have been good. But that wasn't enough for you. And with somebody like that, you know, it's never going to be enough. Having more than $10,000 a month in assistance is crazy. And as you can tell, it's just warped her mind that she thinks that, you know, it's somebody else's responsibility but hers. Figure it out like how everybody else got to.
Yeah, I like what you just said about going back and find a man you had those 6 babies with. That's the big, to me, that's the biggest issue bogging down the government is the whole thing of it's like sex first. That's what we're pushing out here. Like, go have fun. Even now they tell the women, don't get married early, don't settle down, go to college, live your life, be a 304 until you're 32, and then talk about settling down and starting a family. But guess what? That's not what's happening. They end up in the streets because there's no discipline. Because if you got a father there, he's not pushing for that. Because I got 2. I got one that's grown, and I told her, you better find somebody early, so you can avoid STDs, so y'all can start to build, and you put away your money, and by the time y'all 30, y'all can have a retirement there, investments, and be cool. And that's what she did. But that's what's going on, and a lot of these women are just out here having fun. And Pookie, they ain't even vetted the dude out. They just know he was the captain of the football team or whatever, muscular. Don't care. He ain't even grown up yet. Most men don't even grow up till they 35. So that's what's going on. They trying to be equal in that area too. Oh, if a man can wait till he's 35, why can't a woman? Because a woman is born with her value. I don't know if you agree with this or not, but women are born with their value. Men have to gain experience. You can't just jump out the womb and lead. You got to go through some things. You know what I'm saying? To lead a household, to lead your wife, to lead your kids, you got to go through some things and come back. But guess what? A woman, you look good. You're going to have better babies when you're younger. And, you know, you're not required to lead anybody but the children under the guide of your husband, right? So
what
to
I
me,
would
it's like we got to get back to that.
what I would say is like, no matter if you're in a trailer park, you're in the projects, wherever, you can go have people that's hustling. So she was hustling. She was on TikTok. She was getting some money. That's a W-9. So she don't got to report the tax. She can just not file the taxes and get her government assistance. So a lot of these people feel like, okay, I'm gonna get on government assistance, then I'm gonna grind till I can get where I'm at, or I'm just gonna survive off of this. So I mean, I know it's messed up to some degrees, but it don't matter if you're white, black, Chinese, or whatever. I mean, people go hustle. You put people in any type of situation, they go find a way to get out of that situation. They go find a way to get some money.
Hold on, Zach. You saying I'm a cult leader?
Not a cult leader.
You say I'm. First of all, thank you for your service. Secondly, I'm the cult leader for telling people to be responsible. I'm the cult leader for telling you how to avoid AIDS, how to avoid being on child support, how to do things right. And I'm a cult. That's what's wrong with our community right now. Mm-hmm. Is the people that's out here speaking good shit, y'all want to dog them out.
Facts.
This is crazy. And I get this all the time. I'm the one that, I'm crazy. And it's because the people in the psych ward are running the country now, or was. I'm glad Trump is in office. But socially, on the media, everybody in the psych ward is running legacy media and is running the liberal party. And that's what's wrong with y'all. We got to get back. Like I said, all these cities are hot now. They keep talking about AIDS is going up everywhere.
Yeah.
And you come in here and say something like that.
Well, Vulgar, let me have
in a culture where 80% where women initiate 80% of divorce, it's irresponsible to you need to find the right woman. If you get with a woman who don't appreciate you, yes, she's going to leave you. But if you work to build yourself and you find a woman who ain't got a BBL and backlashes, she actually appreciates men, she has denounced womanism and feminism, you probably got a high success of having a good marriage. Starting a business is risky. 95% of businesses fail. It's the same thing. You take a risk. You got to find the right woman. And I agree with you. Yes, we should change the divorce laws. But until that's done, we got to choose better.
Ratchet, what you was about to say to
him? You know, as the only woman in the panel, I would like to, you know, add my 2 cents in that, you know, I am recently married. You know, I got married 6 months. Thank you. And so I'm for marriage. I'm for family. And I think what's missing in this conversation is that we're all, or at least I was, right, trying to do relationships without God. You know, once I decided to go back to the foundation, I'm a Christian, it's there in the name. You know, once I started to read the Bible and align myself with what it is that God had to say about dating and relationships, because he designed it. It was his original intent. And so when I was trying to figure out dating and relationships on my own, I was getting it wrong. I was going after all the wrong guys. I was out in the streets. I was getting hurt. Once I decided to be like, you know what, God, I know what your word says about sex and that it's for marriage. I, you know, gave my life to Jesus. And after that, I was celibate for 7 years before I got married. I decided that sex is for marriage. I know that I'm not baby mama material. I'm somebody's wife. And I feel like out of all the ailments that happen in society, that happen to people who come from broken homes, and the system feeds on children who don't have good families and good parents. And so for me, I was like, you know, I want to have what it is that I didn't have, and that's an intact family. And the best way for me to do that is to shut down the sugar shack. If you don't put a ring on my finger, you're not putting me in your bed. You're not making me a mother before you make me a wife. And I feel like, you know, if there was a more emphasis on marriage, biblical marriage, healthy Christian marriage in the eyes of God and not how we see it, then we would have more success in marriage. And so for me, I waited until marriage with my husband. We didn't come to marriage as, you know, virgins, but we decided to give our life to Christ, and it's through him that we've been able to build something happy, successful, and healthy. And we can plan to have our children. You know, we've sat down, when do we want to have kids? Where do we want to be when we have them? How much do we have saved up when we have them? Like, we want our children to know that we prepared for them, and marriage is the foundation for that, and Christ is the foundation for marriage. And so I just wanted to add that in there, because it's like we're trying to do love without God, and God is love. And so that's why we get it wrong most of the time.
Amen, Ratchet. I think you need to pray for Volga. That was
Oh, I will. But I understand though, because it's like you're still for marriage, and it's like what you're saying is not wrong. I feel like our first act of protest as Black people is to have strong, healthy, complete families. If there's a man in the home, that protects you from so many different things. If you have a good, strong leader that's God-fearing, you're safe as a woman. You're safe to mother. I'm not a feminist. I'm not for the feminist movement. I think it's ridiculous. I think it hinders women. But I could go on about that, but yeah.
Yeah. And no, I agree. You know, I have a spiritual side, but I also realize that there are more than, you know, you got Allah, there's different branches. So I try to speak to everybody. And what I always tell people, like, religion is like a broker, right? Sometimes some people just can't do right unless they have God. Like, they have that fear, that respect of God, and they do right. Then there's others like me. I have core values and standards, and I go by those, because anytime I break one of my core values or standards, I get bit in the ass every time. Like, if I make I say I never make a decision out of being desperate, and the moment I do it, it come back and bite me. So it's just certain things. That's why I try to preach, like, just for men, especially, since we're supposed to lead, have a set of core values and standards. If you need to know what that is, download Chat GPT. I hate to say it, digitally, or read your Bible. But Proverbs is a great book for core values and standards, and that's where I got a lot of mine from, was the book of Proverbs. So yeah, that's what we preaching here. And hey, if I'm a cult leader, I'm a cult leader, damn it. I'm trying to bring Black people back together, because this fatigue is real out here.
Ratchet, this is a question for you. Do you have a prenup?
Do I have a prenup?
That's what Kamal is a friend of the show. He said that God leads you to have a prenup. Just asking for the chat.
No, I don't have a prenup, because I'm all in. You know, I don't have a backup plan for if my marriage doesn't work, because I'm going to give it 110%. And we've talked about it. You know, I'm a comedian. I'm in the entertainment business. So it's not like, you know, something ridiculous. My husband and I did talk about it, but it's like, you know what? I don't want to go into marriage with a contingency plan. I want to give you everything, you know, and I expect you to give me everything. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But I'm going to believe that God's going to, you know, keep us in marriage and in this covenant until we stand in front of him.
Can we get a joke?
Can you get a what?
A joke. You're a comedian.
That's not how it works.
For sure.
Put you on the spot. Oh, I always like to say this too when we talk about prenups. I'm gonna make it quick. If y'all thinking about prenups, don't let either party, I'll mostly say the woman, but either party, always have two lawyers. If you signing a prenup, don't just sit down at the table and say, hey, we're gonna all write this down and agree, because you got to know what the courts look at. This is the thing with Travis Hunter. A lot of people don't know. This is just my suspicion on the situation. They got married in Tennessee. Tennessee is the top state to throw out a prenup. Tennessee does not care about prenups. They probably use it some of the times, but if his wife go in there with a good story, that prenup is no good. Mm-hmm. They consider themselves an equitable state. So if you sign a prenup that says, hey, you leave with nothing, Tennessee is going to override that and say, no, we're equitable. So if she get the kids, she get this house, that car, this, and you walk away with that. Y'all got to understand your state laws. And I'll get at to Zach when he's talking about prenups and marriage and stuff. Yes, if you're going to do it right. Know what your state requires. Don't just sit down and sign a prenup with the other party because you're probably gonna get played.
For sure. Ratchet Christian, you're very intelligent. Thank you for coming. You gave us a lot of good information. What are your final thoughts and what did you think in the man cave?
Well, thank you for all of your kind words. Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed our intelligent conversation. I appreciate all y'all's different perspective and opinions and allowing me to speak. And I like the man cave. You know, it's nice to kind of be a fly on the wall in men's conversations and to see how y'all think and perceive things, and then also get to add a woman's touch and perspective to it. And so I loved it. I enjoyed myself, and I appreciate y'all having me.
For sure. Enzo, what's your final thoughts?
So, like always, like I say, it's always a great episode. Appreciate you coming, Gratcha Christian. I was glad to hear your insight. We talked about quite a bit different things tonight. Most importantly, I'm just happy with the direction that the Trump administration is going with the with the bill and everything like that on the SNAP benefits and Medicaid, and hopefully we can actually get these benefits to people who actually need them. And no, that's really all I got tonight.
For sure. My final thoughts are, it was a good show, guys. It was nice to like have a woman's perspective on the topic. So thank you for coming, Ratchet Christian. We'll definitely have to have you back, and congratulations on your marriage. Like I said, Trump does some things that I like. I like what Trump did today, so I wasn't hard on the guys about what's going on. We got a lot of stuff going on the man cave and on the new party. So you guys just keep rocking with us. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and that's all I got to say. Volker, what's your final thoughts?
All right, so if y'all been on SNAP benefits, all that for forever, get your ass up and get a job and work. And for the men that's because I ran across a bunch of men, I actually did a video on this too. Bunch of men that's online complaining about Trump's big beautiful bill, the benefits, and all that stuff that they say he's taking away. If you're a grown ass man, you do not need to be on George Bush's internet complaining about the government not giving you any money. Get your ass up and work. Man cave.
For sure. All right, you guys have a good night. I'm going to play the outro.
Hey guys, we've got something big coming up. We're headed in person to cover the Diddy trial on June 2nd and June 3rd, and we need your help to get there. As you know, we are now celebrating our 1-year anniversary, so it's an exciting time for us. We'll be making exclusive in-life content, interviews, updates from the courthouse, and behind-the-scenes moments you won't see anywhere else. This is about more than just one case. It's about getting the truth out there, accountability, and bringing our community real, unfiltered coverage straight from the front lines. If you rock with what we do and want to support independent media, hit the link below and drop something in the Cash App. Cash App below. Please support us. Every dollar counts. Travel, lodging, care. And we're doing this for the new party team. For always supporting us. Let's make some noise.
Ratchet